I'm here with head coach of the Wall Hawks, Craig Slaughter, after a big victory over a ranked rival Jim Ned team. Coach, say what you want, that game was never close. The Hawks kind of blew them out and, dominant from start to finish. Talk about it.
I'm very impressed, defensively, man. What a game. And again, it's all those pieces working together, that D-line, those backers, that back end, just a complete game. Offense sputtered a little bit more than normal. Just we've gotten so spoiled by those guys catching everything, contested, open, whatever. And, just weren't quite as efficient as normally we are, but it kind of motivates us, and I expect us to play hot this Friday.
You say that, but it looks like it speaks to the resilience of those guys, because even though they dropped a couple early, they still came through when it mattered as the game progressed, right?
Dude, no, they're gamers, and that's what, we were talking at halftime, and some of the offensive coaches were frustrated, and for once I was one of the calm ones, dude, those kids are winners. They're going to make plays, and again, I thought, there was a little frustration, which, we have high expectations, and, but it was good to work through that, and it's good to, you're not going to, I wish it was, but you're not going to score every time you get the rock. You're not going to make a stop every time they have the ball. You've got to overcome some adversity and come out the other side of it.
Coach, this was the first true test for this Wall Hawks on both sides of the ball. Didn't even seem like it phased them outside of the first 5 minutes in the first quarter. Still put up 30-plus points. The defense was what impressed me most. Yeah. Just held a ranked team down and a division up on you, especially in a rival game at their house. We talked about it last week about how you wanted to see something. What did you see?
We talked pregame, guys, I said, there'll be a lot of teams that have enough horses to stay with you for a series or two, but it's time after time. We are going to go play good defense. We are going to go attack you on offense. And again, defense I thought played great. That offense, 97-yard drive that didn't score, that ended the game. There were 6 first downs. You go from, at the time, you're just wanting a little territory to defend. And they took that thing 97 yards. And again, I know you'd have loved to punch that in, but we didn't cause any turnovers, which we're harping on. We did have that one turnover, but again, offense, one turnover. We're going to have some of those in the scheme we play, and again, we love what the kids are doing and how they're playing.
Coach, moving ahead to this weekend, it's another road trip. It's another longer road trip. You're going to play Monahans. It's a team that you've scrimmaged before. It's a team that you've played before. And again, it's another leg up in competition to what y'all have been playing. Don't think they're as good as Jim Ned, but it's going to be another tough matchup.
It is. You always worry about a 3-hour road trip, and that's just, again, 3 in a row. You don't have many of those until you're in the playoffs, where it's, road trip. But, our kids, they don't know what's happening tomorrow. They're going to walk to school and, what are we doing today? Those kids are going to get on the bus, go play a good ball game. We're going to get them back home, and we're going to do it again, next week. Monahans, again, proud West Texas program. They've played a really solid schedule. I don't think they played a team that has a loss yet. They played Shallow Canyon Randall, and Lubbock Liberty. And again, that's a 5A, that had, that's finally grown up, and their schedule is awesome. So it's not like we're going to overwhelm them with, oh man, we've never seen some of those speed or that O-line. They'll be a challenge for us, and we'll be ready.
What do you think the key to victory on offense is in that one?
I just know we want to get back to that efficient, taking care of the ball, hitting open guys or even contested guys, and making more of those plays. We just want to see, though, we know we have some donkeys in there, and we want those dudes to go be that kid all the time. We're not going to catch them all, but, we know there's an efficiency that we can play with offensively that we want to get back to.
One thing Monahans always bring to the table every single year is a stout offensive line.
Yeah.
How does your defense handle that when Monahans wants to run the ball down?
They have a very good back. Quarterback gets the ball out really quick on a lot of plays. And those beefcakes up front, they're big dudes. I do think we have seen some quality offensive lines, and our D-line has stood up, and I expect them to stand tall again.
And I know it's still too early at this point, but at what point in the season do you start looking at this team saying, these guys specifically might be different?
It's a week by week. Again, I know everybody, you can't help but think about big games down the road. Of course, we're all thinking about those, but, are you getting ready and prepared for when those big games are here? Have we done all we can from, September 17th to, December, whatever it is? You just want to make sure each day you're having a productive practice. You're getting after it in the weight room. You're just making good decisions on and off the field, and you want to make sure your kids are hot when it's time to go, and I expect ours to be so.
And Coach, at this point last year, you'd already lost a couple of key starters up to this point in the year. This year, you don't really seem to be having a problem with that. Is it something that you changed in the offseason? Is it credit to the training staff? What is it?
Don't jinx us like that. You know, man, some of it is just God's good fortune. You know, I think our kids have done a really good job taking care of themselves. We are very non-contact at practice. You know, I just don't want them exposed to that contact much. You know, and again, and some guys different philosophy. Some guys may try to toughen them up and get after it. You know, I believe our kids will play physical and they'll strike you. You know, so we are very not that way at practice. You know, and you're hoping that that they keep getting up, getting back to the huddle, and let's do it again.
All right, Coach. Well, again, you got a tough road test this weekend. Let's just see you keep that ball rolling.
That's the plan. I mean, we're excited. Another road trip, another West Texas Power, and let's go play some quality football.
All right, tell the fans out there when and where.
Hey, Friday in Monahans, 7 o'clock. Go Hawks.